In this video, I will talk about the best to worst foods and also compounds in order to maximize your DHT. Okay, DHT stands for dihydrotestosterone and is basically an androgen which is very potent. Okay, and it's way more potent than testosterone. Now, why is DHT important? Basically, because it plays a role mostly in puberty and during adolescence, but it also plays a role in adulthood. Particularly if you're talking about puberty, it plays a role in the sexual development, so the growth of the penis, for example, but also in the deepening of the voice, for example, and other masculine characteristics. Okay, so having high DHT is more important during puberty, but it's also important during adulthood because it actually contributes to the sex stimulation. So it plays a role in stimulating your sexual behavior. Okay, so high testosterone together with high free testosterone and high DHT basically guarantee you a sex cocktail. Okay, will make you very confident, have lots of energy. They will also cause you to have a lot of libido. Okay, so let's start from the foods. First is pycnogenol. Guys, pycnogenol is basically a compound found in pine bark extract and it basically decreases DHT. Okay, so I suggest you not to take pycnogenol at all. I actually experienced this some time ago and I had my blood test and my DHT was almost lower than the normal range. And this was the first time I saw my DHT so low. And I thought about it and I made some research and I found out that basically pycnogenol was the compound responsible for this. But pycnogenol has some good effects together with pine bark extract because they actually improve blood flow. Okay, but I realized that basically it's not good for DHT. Next is black pepper. Guys, this is one of the worst compounds that you can take for your DHT. Piperine has been shown anti-androgenic effects and it can actually inhibit the alpha reductase 5 enzyme. Okay, this is an enzyme that converts testosterone into dihydrotestosterone. Okay, so I suggest you not to take black pepper, but if you want, of course, you can take salmon food. But same, if you want to maximize your DHT, is not a good idea. Now, some supplements have black pepper because it allows the compound to be better absorbed. But again, I would choose the option without black pepper. Now, that's on you. Next, garlic. Garlic, guys, reduces the mRNA expression of DHT and androgen receptors. Okay, so basically, you have less androgen receptors available and less DHT that can bound to the androgen receptor. Basically, you are less sensitive, okay, to the effects of androgens. And this is not good at all. Okay, now the problem is that garlic, although it has this problem with DHT, it has been shown that it can actually increase testosterone. Okay, so don't fall for this. I would prefer you to avoid garlic because if you have high testosterone but then there is no available androgen receptor, I would say it's not worth it. Okay, of course, if you have a cold, garlic and onion together could be very amazing, but if you are talking on an everyday basis, I would avoid garlic. Next is onion. Onion inhibits the 5-AR enzyme, so the enzyme that converts testosterone into DHT. So I would avoid onion as well. Now, next is pumpkin seed oil, and again, I would avoid this because basically it could inhibit 5 alpha reductase and have also anti-androgenic effects. Okay, so I would avoid this. Generally speaking, this goes, I think, also for pumpkin seeds as well. So I would avoid seeds and I would avoid oil as well. Next is tomato. Tomato, I would say, is bad because actually tomato has inside lycopene that has partial anti-androgenic activity. Okay, so it's not like 100% anti-androgenic activity, but it has partial anti-androgenic activity. So in this case, I would avoid tomatoes, but of course, it's a fruit, and usually fruit tends to be very healthy for the body. Okay, so I would consume it every once in a while, but also test on yourself how you react it. Maybe even if you consume some tomato And also some of the worst foods for DHT, maybe you test your DHT and your DHT is still in the normal range. Okay, so you have to test for yourself. But on average, I think that avoiding these compounds would be the best. And also this, maybe this is more beneficial than this, but on average, these compounds are not good for DHT. Okay. Now, another one that I forgot to put is actually green tea. Green tea, guys, reduces DHT because of ECGC. Okay, this compound has anti-androgenic properties. Okay, so green tea, yes, very beneficial for the body, but if we are boosting DHT, we should avoid green tea. And the problem with green tea is that this compound competes with DHT for binding to the androgen receptor. Okay, and this is not good because when there is competition with DHT to bind to the androgens, this is a problem, and there's the possibility that there is less available DHT for the body to use. Okay, now let's talk about the compounds that actually increase DHT. Cholesterol. I think cholesterol is best because cholesterol is basically the precursor to testosterone, and by being the precursor to testosterone, is basically also the precursor to all the androgens, so for DHT as well. Okay, so cholesterol, of course, I think is the best. Then there is dairy. Dairy, guys, it could actually increase DHT, and generally speaking, it also increases insulin, so it's very anabolic. Now, the problem with dairy is that when someone has a very high DHT, can actually experience some acne. Okay, but if generally speaking you're not genetically predisposed to having acne, then I would say dairy is a very good food. Next is diosgenin. Again, diosgenin is a compound very similar to DHEA, and diosgenin basically increased in a study the expression of DHT and DHEA in skeletal muscle. So basically, the diosgenin is this compound that is very beneficial for DHT, and I would say is one of the best. Next is tribulus. Tribulus, guys, is amazing for DHT, but also for testosterone. Studies say that tribulus is very good, generally speaking, for your hormones, and I think a lot of bodybuilders also use tribulus. Next, caffeine. Caffeine, guys, again, very, very good. It actually increases not only DHT but also dopamine, and when you increase dopamine, not only you experience the increase in testosterone, but also you have better mood, but also more libido. So if you combine a spike in DHT, a spike in testosterone, and also a spike in dopamine together, they have a very positive effect on your libido. Okay, so I would say caffeine together with another dopaminergic agent, like for example L-Dopa, would be amazing for your libido. Okay, so definitely caffeine good for DHT. Now DHEA, amazing for increasing DHT. Okay, and this is because in a study, DHT with DHEA increased by 536% in mice liver. This spike is amazing, guys. Next, guys, is creatine. And creatine, guys, is very beneficial for DHT. Actually, there was a study that showed that creatine increased DHT by 56% after 7 days of supplementation with 25 grams daily. Then the people in the study actually stopped taking 25 grams a day and took 5 grams a day for 2 weeks, and the DHT still remained 40% above baseline. Okay, so creatine, an amazing supplement not only for boosting DHT but also for improving your performance in the gym. Last, guys, is red meat. I would move red meat to good actually because I think it's better for improving your testosterone, but not particularly for DHT because the compound that specifically increases DHT in meat is actually zinc. Zinc, guys, can actually spike DHT, but other than that, I would say is not amazing for maximizing DHT, okay? But more so for testosterone. So this is basically a list of the foods and the compounds that should actually interfere with DHT. Now, you also have to test yourself, so maybe doing a blood test would be a good idea. after also trying taking these supplements on a regular basis. If you enjoyed the video, let me know in the comments. And I have a free community which you can join now. I will leave a link in the description, in the comments, and you can also find it on my bio. Thanks for watching.